A long, long time ago, there was this land, a kingdom. There lived a person, they called him the Spider-Man. This Spider-Man's work was very boring. All day, his work was weaving webs made of fibers, connecting two kingdoms. One was the land above, they called it the kingdom of the sky, where the sky people or the star people lived. And of course, on Earth was everybody lived, the Earthlings. You can call them aliens and Earthlings. The Spider-Man's job was to weave this path, so in the nighttime, the sky people or the star people could come down from the web and bless the children, which we call fairies, and kept them happy and healthy. Every day's work was the same, and he kind of getting bored. So he decided one day that he's going to slacken his job up a little bit. From time to time, his web wasn't weaved as good, as perfect. So what happened? These star fairy people, when they went back up to the sky during the daytime, some of them slipped and fell back to Earth. And once they fell from heaven, when they were injured, they couldn't get up, they couldn't get back up. And they were down on Earth suffering. And somehow, the chief of these star people, they found out that this Spider-Man wasn't doing a good job. His web wasn't weaved as good as he's supposed to. So the Lord of Heaven got mad. He sent a commander-in-chief down to Earth. This guy was called Famine. And Famine came down and took away all the cattle, all the food, all the vegetables on land. There was nothing left except water. The Earth people were suffering, no food. Everyone had to drink water. And they were getting very, very hungry. So Spider-Man decided to save the world. He decided, I have to do something. It was my fault. I let the people down. So he decided to pack up his bag and went overboard across the mountain, try to find food for his land. After a few days, he saw a pear tree. Pear tree means fruit. There would be fruit around. He walked further, then he saw a house of smoke. He realized someone is living in the house. So he went inside. Someone opened the door. And there was this guy with a scarry face. His back was a big hump. Opened the door and asked him what he could help him. Spider-Man explained he was from the land beyond and he was hungry and suffering. All he wanted was some food. And this guy with a scary face, scarry face, and a big hump gave him all the food he wanted. And he even smiled with a grin. He said, I could help you. Spider-Man would be delighted that he could bring something back home. The man with the big hump gave him 4 pots. He said, first pot was a pot of meat, second one, veggie, third one, fruit, and the fourth one was bread. These were magical pots. If you could take them home, your land will be forever full of food. No more hunger in your land. Spider-Man was very happy. The next day, he thanked this horrible or ugly person, and he took all the 4 pots on his back and marched across the mountains trying to go home. He was still hungry after 2 days. He decided he wanted to have some food. So he opened up the pot and ate as much as he could. He was full, so he went for a nap. When he slept, for some reason, out of the nowhere, that man with the big hump appeared. He went to the pot, used a knife, and cut a hole on the bottom of the pot. And he disappeared. And without the Spider-Man knowing what happened. And Spider-Man woke up, carried the pot, and walked back and found his homeland. He was so happy that he could bring food to his people. He told everyone I have food for you. Don't drink water anymore. There will be food enough for everyone. And the villagers were so happy, they dropped everything and gathered in the courtyard and trying to share the food. But when Spider-Man opened up the pots, there was nothing in there. The food he ate was gone, and there was nothing left. The magical pot power was gone. You know why? Because the man with the big hump actually was once a fairy from up there. He was the one who fell down to earth, got hurt on his face, a big scar, and his back had a big hump because he fell down badly bruised. He recognized Spider-Man, and this is why he wanted to do a revenge on him. And this is why he gave him the magical pots, but he broke the spell. He broke the spell by cutting a hole on the bottom of the pot. Now, there was no food, nothing. If I were you, if you were me, I would be angry too. So the villagers came upon him. They punched him, they kicked him, and did everything you could when you were angry. Some even tore him apart. They split his arms from 2 to 4. They split his legs from 2 to 4. And they fed him with water because there was no food. And his tummy was so big, almost burst like a balloon. And from that day onward, he became a man with 4 legs and 4 arms and a big belly. And all day long, he had to work all day in weaving his webs. And that's all he could do. He remained a lonely Spider-Man.